Hey there, Jody C here, and today I'm doing a vlog. It's probably officially my first vlog. So I'm warning you, there's going to be a lot of ums and ahs and maybe a little bit of cursing. But I'm passionate about what I do, and I'll rather just be upfront about it. So here goes. Today I'm discussing the topic of fruit, and it's one of the most frequently asked questions in my career as a nutritionist, which is, Jody, how much fruit am I allowed to eat in the day? How many apples can I eat? How many bananas? And then this question normally gets followed by, I've gained so much weight, I have to stop eating fruit. It must be all the sugar and the carbs. I'm eating like 2 apples at a time. It's just way too much. And at that point, most of the times I kind of go blank because I can't even believe what I'm hearing. But I hear it so often, it still shocks me. And then I have to remind myself that an individual, a client who comes to me, there's so much miscommunication when it comes to nutrition, and the wrong communication and the wrong information shared by so-called professionals in the industry, that I can understand why they're confused, and I can understand why they get so anxious about what they eat. I mean, I've been there. I know what it feels like to really question everything you put in your mouth. And it's terrible. You can't enjoy anything. But just to keep on topic, fruit itself, I'm going to try to keep it simple and just use myself as an example, and just show you share with you what I consider healthy and what I consider works for me. I like to think I'm a good representation of great health. I mean, I don't suffer from any form of chronic illness, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, anything like that. And I do put it down to eating a very healthy, balanced, and real diet. So coming back to fruit, I mean, I've so often asked the question or heard the answer of a client or an individual saying, well, if I had to choose between an apple and a diet bar, they would choose a diet bar without hesitation. Never mind, within the diet bar, it contains about 20 ingredients they can't pronounce, let alone understand. But out of complete fear of carbohydrates and sugar in an apple or a banana, whichever the fruit, they just won't touch it, which I find insane. I mean, here's something that comes from Mother Earth, natural. If you are religious, God made it in his own creation, in his own hands, compared to a man-made object that is so plastic, your body doesn't even recognize it. And this is what most people need to understand. Fruit is in its whole form. So I'm not talking about fruit juice or, processed fruit or fruit in a tin or a can, nothing like this. I'm talking about fresh fruit. When choosing fruit, choose it fresh. So when you eat a fresh piece of fruit, your body recognizes instantly. It knows exactly what's in it. Every element in it is natural, organic, and it knows exactly what to do with it. It won't question it. It won't store it. It will keep it simple, and that's what you need to do. That's why it's important to buy fruit that's seasonal, fruit that comes from your country and that is seasonal. If you're going to be constantly eating fruit that's been traveled from another country, that means it's been in cold storage, probably genetically modified, a lot of sprays and pesticides on it. So remember to always wash your fruit very well. And once it comes to you, if it's not in season and it's not local, it does require a lot more work for your body to process, go through, and there's a lot more elements that could harm your body. But over and above that, compare it to, let's just say, a diet bar that says, it's carb free, it's low fat, or whatever the case is. It does not mean it's healthy for you, not even in the slightest. Most of these bars, like I said, not many of us actually understand the ingredients that's in it. So if we can't understand it, trust me, your body doesn't either. So once it goes into the body, it's like, hang on, what is this? Many of the times it actually has to store all these toxins, because those little bars are toxic. It contains a lot of processed chemicals, additives, preservatives, and they're as they build up in your system, it becomes toxic, and that gets stored in your liver, it gets stored in your fat cells, and that's where problems start. Okay, so when it comes to eating real, wholesome, natural foods, that should always be your first choice, and that's fruit. The question at hand here, fruit. But for most, they are so freaked out about this carb and sugar craze that's been going on for a couple of years. They've completely lost sight and lost understanding of what real food is all about. For me, fresh food is the definition of amazing, healthy, real food. So to want to cut it out completely and make all these crazy claims about it is just absolutely insane. And so when a client comes to me and says, "Oh, I can't touch carbs, I can't eat fruit because of the carbs and the sugar," I call bullshit on that. It's not the carbs and the sugars and fruit that's making you fat or causing health issues or giving you a little extra tummy roll. That is not it. It is the excessive amount of alcohol over weekends that you're probably consuming. It is the amount of fast foods, drive-thrus, takeaways that you're consuming. It's the amount of these so-called diet foods that you're consuming. Those are highly toxic. They contain such a vast amount of chemicals and processed substances like additives and preservatives and colorants. Your poor body doesn't know what to do with it, and that causes huge issues when it gets so overtaxed with all those products. Then again, don't even start with refined carbohydrates. This is not the healthy versions. You get really healthy versions that are perfect for the body. The unhealthy versions like white bread. I don't have a problem with bread, and I promise I'll discuss this in another vlog. But refined, those store-bought breads, wrong. Don't touch them. Refined pasta, white pasta made with cheap flour, highly toxic and acidic cheap flour. Don't touch it. I don't have problems with potatoes. Okay, most people would avoid potatoes now because of, again, the carb issue. Potatoes aren't an issue. It's how it gets prepared. If you're going to have potato chips, potato mash with excess of cream and butter, potato bake with tons of cheese and butter and cream, that's where the problem comes in. We're pushing blame on all these different perfectly normal and healthy foods because we just don't want to take responsibility. It's great for someone to say, "Oh, well, you can eat as much of this other stuff as you like because, well, it is either carb-free or sugar-free or whatever the case is. But, you can eat it as much as you like because at least it doesn't contain those two elements," which is just absolutely bizarre. Never mind the other crazy side effects it'll have on the body. And it's beginning to show. People are slowly beginning to see the harmful effects of this excessive consumption of, proteins, animal fats, animal proteins. That's where the huge issue lies. Everyone knows I am a vegan, I am plant-based, but over and above the ethical reasons, it causes havoc on the body. Going back to the subject of fruit, though, really, fruit is such a natural and blessing to have in our lives. We get to literally pick it off our trees and eat it, and you can't get closer to nature and God's creation and what Mother Earth has provided than a fresh piece of fruit. It's so packed with fiber and nutrition and vitamins and minerals and water. There's more water in fruit than probably any other product you can think about out on the shelves that contain no carbs. You're getting all this nutrition in one little perfectly packaged item. It's just bizarre to think that you want to throw it away because you out of fear of carbs and sugars. And yes, it's something that really needs to be addressed and rethought and re-educated to everyone that is not what's causing your health issues. For many, it's a concern of weight gain. It's especially not your weight gain. All the other crap that you've been told and sold, that is what's causing the biggest problems. So for me, a lot of people say, "Well, how much fruit do you eat in a day?" Well, as much as I want. I mean, if bananas are in season, no lie, I can eat up to 4 to 5 bananas a day, over and above any other fruit I want to eat. Like I said, I keep it seasonal. If pineapples are in season, oh my word, I mean, I could consume that stuff non-stop. But then at the same breath, it's in thought with whatever else I'm eating in my day. Okay, so I'm not someone who's going to be eating a ton of fruit, okay, and then I'm also over-consuming in highly processed carbs, and I'm having sugar in coffee and sugar in tea and sugar on processed cereals, and that's not what I do. My body knows exactly what to do with all that carbohydrates and sugars in that fruit in its natural form, because that's my source of energy. That's how my body works, and that's how my body can function. And it's the ideal form of energy for your body. For me, literally, like, I've got a divine smoothie here. It's packed with, today it's got actually 2 bananas, at least a half a cup of frozen strawberries, and it's got frozen pineapple. And that's blended up with some almond milk, and it's green, so it's got some spirulina in it. And yes, this is for me a meal. This is what keeps me energized. This is what brings me, amazing health. And I could have one of these and I can keep going for hours. Throw a bowl of cornflakes with some milk and sugar, and you could probably last for about 30 minutes and you'd be hungry already. So when it comes to fruit, really, that is nothing you should be scared of. Please, if you're going to choose something as a snack, as a meal, it should be something that's in its natural whole form, something that is just real and direct from nature. If it looks like an apple and it tastes like an apple and it is an apple, eat it. But if it's a product that says, oh, this is an apple flavored diet drink, and no sugar, no carbs, but there's no actually apple in it. I mean, the ingredients at the back will normally say dairy, a sweetener, avoid those at all costs, and then a whole lot of flavorants and additives. That is nothing your body can understand or process, and that's where you're going to get problems. So when it comes to fruit, I know people like to have numbers and say, tell me what I should be eating. You know what? At least 5 seasonal, fresh, if possible, local fruits a day. Yes, 5. Over and above all your other veggies. And trust me, you'll have no problems. If anything, your body would soar and fly and feel amazing, and your positive changes in your body will start to happen. We really need to change how people view eating. I mean, food is a blessing. It should be enjoyed. It shouldn't be feared. And that's what I want to share with you. What we get sold on media, it really is just it's a big money-making scheme. People put fear into us about what we eat. And they put fear into us about eating the wrong things. I mean, who should be scared of eating an apple? I mean, if it was highly poisonous with pesticides and it was genetically modified, and yes, avoid the apple. But if you're getting some amazing fruit from a local farmer, or just somewhere in your country, it's not even a question. It's just so logic. That is the choice you make. All that other stuff, besides the fact that it is extremely expensive, just avoid it for amazing health and an amazing body and feeling good about yourself and looking amazing. Keep it natural, keep it simple, keep it fresh, keep it local, keep it seasonal. And fruit is your friend, okay? Remember, fruit is your friend. 5 a day, over and above all your other veggies, 5 fresh fruit a day, and you're good to go. Okay. Right, thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll try to do more of these. I'll get better at it. I'll get used to it. I'll be like discussing this topic with my best friend. Okay, cheers everyone.